This is Boxing Tickets NI, and we're glad to say we're joined with Paul Ryan. How are you, Paul?
Oh, good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Obviously, I think you'd reached out this sort of last night. Obviously we're saying we want some interviews, and it
Yep.
was sort of like pick me sort of thing. So good news. Obviously, there wasn't a schedule in front of you, so we were able to get you in straight away. First, obviously, I want to say happy birthday to you. It's your 22nd birthday today.
22nd, yeah, getting on now. Starting to get a bit grey.
Well, you're not looking as grey as me just yet, but probably as maybe the light just doing it to you today.
We'll use the light as a compliment, yeah. We'll take that.
It definitely is. And obviously with the whole pandemic and things, obviously it's a low key sort of birthday for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Even this time last year, I was out in America for my birthday, so I was in the camp in a dorm. I was with every other lad I was living with wasn't speaking English, so I didn't do much of a birthday then either. So it's no different.
And I guess obviously starting off as a pro now as well, you're going to have fights and stuff around your birthdays as well. So I guess you're starting as you mean to go on.
I used to diet over my birthday every year. Like we'd come up, the nationals used to be March kind of, so every year I was dieting over my birthday anyways as a young fella, so it didn't make a difference.
And it's something you're well prepared for. So obviously cutting straight into it. How long have you been boxing?
I started when I was 7 years old. We went down. That was when we kicked it off down at Baldoyle Boxing Club, and fell in love with it. I was in love with it before we came down. Before I started boxing, I used to watch Paul McCloskey, all the old fights back when Dublin, when the point was booming. With you had Bernard Dunne back in the day and all. And I used to love that. That'd get me going. And I'd watch Rocky and all, obviously as well. Mm-hmm. And then the clubs wouldn't take you till you were 9. So my ma brought me down and she asks Ned Hendrick, the head coach, to take me in. And she was like, look, he knows the stance and all. She knows what to do. And I was only 7 years old and I got on my southpaw stance and I was letting off the shots and all. So he says, we'll take you one day a week and we'll see how you get on. And from there, the rest is history.
I've always, I've never really obviously boxed much myself, but I always had that sort of thing and going, of all the careers you could sort of pick, sometimes they get punched in the face,
Yeah, it's a crazy
money, it's you have to be built of a special grade to be a boxer, don't you?
I think so. I think it's a thing that when you do it at the high level, it's in you, like you're meant to do it really. Like people do ask me, how does it feel? You're a professional boxer and you're signed with MTK and all, but it just feels normal. It feels natural, like it's meant to be happening, so.
And who would you, obviously you're sort of touching there, and Paul McCloskey and Bernard Dunne and things, were they your sort of idols growing up in the sport then?
I wouldn't have said idols. They would have been they would have been on the most frequent, what you'd watch on RTA, the old hunky dory days and all, but I loved Prince and Hazeem, Floyd Mayweather, obviously Floyd back when he was on top, Prince, and then boys more so on the old school fighters. I'd watch Hector Camacho, Pernell Whitaker. I loved Evander Holyfield, Ernie Shavers. I love every generation of boxers,
Yeah, and obviously I guess the good thing with the thing with boxing, you have to take different things from different styles and different generations of boxers, because every generation sort of had at least one boxer you could sort of go to and say, I actually really liked him,
Yeah, you like that. You can pick it. You can tweak a few things from it. Yeah, no, it's deadly. And even now, looking back, you have the gift of YouTube or whatever, you can get fights from the 1800s if you want to do it, and you can see just the evolution that has come from it. It's crazy.
I remember seeing, I think was it Jack Jones? There was a fight in 1920, and it was outside, and the crowd, and I think they said it was about 100,000 at a fight, and you sort of look at it now and you're going, you'll not see them sort of venues used again. You obviously have the Wembley Arena and stuff like that used, but won't have the same sort of atmospheres like the old black and white pictures.
Yeah, mental, yeah. And it'd be like just an outdoor type of thing, wouldn't it? You'd throw the ring up in the middle of a field and just cram it full of people.
And just thinking in another 100 years time, probably people might be using, all different types of things in boxing, going back to the old ways of 15-round fights and everything else, and now it's down to 12.
Yeah, you wouldn't know, yeah. Be interesting to see, definitely. Even you see the little tweaks that people are doing. I know the IBF brought in day of weigh-ins for championship fights and all, and there's always that evolution happening through the business part and the fighting part, so it is daily to see.
And obviously the WBC have their 30-day check-in weights as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then I know even there's an MMA crowd out in Asia that they do hydration tests and everything now when you're competing. So it's interesting to look at the different organisations and what way they're going with it.
And sort of not really sort of going off the subject of it, but do you not think it'd be good for them all to be sort of parallel in the same thing? Use the best of what they're all doing. Whether it's a 30-day
Yeah, I
training
think
weight or
everyone kind of sing from the same hymn sheet and just have a universal type of thing. It would be, not just the IBF or the WBC doing their checkups like all across the board type of thing. I think that's the best way to go forward with it.
But I guess obviously with amateur boxing as well, you've probably been coming through when sort of things changed with amateur boxing, where the old style, the sort of way they changed it and sort of having to adapt and they changed. So you're sort of well prepared for it coming into the pro ranks.
Yeah, so my first year of boxing, I would have been a boy one. It was the point scoring, you land a jab, you get 1 point. That was it for the first year. But then I was lucky enough from boy two onwards, then it was the 10-point must,
Yeah, and obviously,
So I
as I say, you
didn't.
were able to adapt to it.
Yeah, so I've been fairly used to it.
So obviously looking at your amateur career, it's something that obviously stands you in good stead. 3-time Irish champion, European silver medalist, world bronze, and obviously finished up with the Celtic Box Cup. So, when they sort of say as an accomplished amateur, you tick all the boxes.
Yeah, that's like, I guess the cliche, and a lot of people are saying it now, but I didn't have the care for amateur. I didn't get in to become an Olympian. Like I never cared for it. I came in to become a world champion, become a professional world champion in boxing, and that was it. Obviously, look, you need your amateur career, you need your schooling, and you need to get the fights in, and that's it really stood to me. Like you're fighting every week as an amateur, and you go to the all club shows and you do 2 a day or whatever, just get thrown in,
Mm-hmm.
and it tests your mettle. You have to do it.
And you sort of fell out of love of amateur boxing, what, around 2017? Was it just the fact that you just wanted to go pro?
Yeah, I always wanted to, and then I was seeing boys that are going pro, and I was getting bleeding, not jealous, but I was saying, no, it's time for me to do it. And then, the lack of tournaments, when you get to the senior level, you're only getting a tournament maybe once a year, so you don't have the regularity. Whereas as a young fella, like I said, you're boxing every single week, so the love is there. And then obviously, you're getting caught up with, you're working, you're trying to train. I was going to school, I was college at the time, so it was just hard.
And I guess obviously in the teenage years and stuff as well, it's hard to stay motivated. Particularly when probably friends and things like that are going out drinking and you're getting ready for fights and things like that. So you have to be really mentally tough to keep it going.
Yeah, I was lucky that my parents are really good. They always kept me on the right track, and then even like the boys in the club that I was with, like I was mates with them, so I was going down to me mates. It wasn't like I was missing anything from them. I was seeing them every night in the club, so there was a good atmosphere and a good buzz, and I was lucky enough for that, because I know other boys that weren't mates in their club didn't have the closeness. They fell out of love with it because they were going out drinking in fields and doing whatever they were leading up to.
Yeah, but as I say, you can become an illusion from the sport sometimes as well. Obviously, we initially announcing that you were going pro in November 2019. Probably seems like quite a long time away now with the pandemic going on. You sort of touched on it already. You moved over to America and you teamed up with Hector Bermudez.
Yeah, Hector Bermudez, yeah.
And you were also getting the training alongside an Irish legend and world champion in TJ Doheny. How obviously did that come about, and how obviously was it training out in America?
Yeah, it was good. So it was like that 2019. I just said, right, that's it, I'm done. I'm going to make the move. And I started looking at America. Just thought, get a complete fresh start, get over there, knuckle down. And you don't have to be, it doesn't take a genius. Boston's a great place for an Irishman to build a career,
Mm-hmm.
So we looked there, went over, tried a few gyms, went down to Hector's, and we got a bit of sparring. I sparred Mark DeLuca. He was ranked 6th with WBA, I think, at that day. And we done 6 rounds with him, and that obviously impressed him, and we were invited back then. But funny you're saying with TJ, I actually never even met TJ while I was over there. He left just before me, and then he came back just after I left, so we were on just completely opposite schedules, But you're still training with boys. Like I was training with Carlos Gongora, he only won the IBO Super Middleweight title there last month.
Yeah.
He won that on the matchroom card. Like I trained with him every day. I was sparring Rashidi Ellis, you're in the gym then, like I said, with Mark DeLuca, Javier Fortuna, there's Jonathan Guzman as well. Like Hector trained 7 world champions, so you're getting really, really good work there, and you have to grow, And
I guess obviously in America it's a lot different in America than it would be obviously in the UK and Ireland, because there's people you'll see gyms up and down the country that they'll go from camp to camp, sort of building experience for a year or 2 years in the dark, and then all of a sudden they turn pro, and you're going, whoa, where did that talent come from? They're just in doghouse fights pretty much every day of the week, and I guess obviously that will stand you in good stead turning pro.
No, big time. Like even in America, like it was like that. What you said, the doghouse type of work. Because obviously Hector'd be very well known up in Boston, so there's people coming to his gym every day, and when you're sparring them, they're trying to make a point because they know you're one of his boys and you have a bit of a buzz around your name, So they're in there trying to take your bleeding head off.
And I say that's the thing. Obviously, everybody's out to impress someone, and say you're uninspired and impressed, and that got you into the gym. So people are doing the same thing as you have.
Absolutely, yeah. Everyone's taking that shot.
And obviously, sort of looking at the lighting and things like that. You're not in America at the moment. As with the pandemic, has that meant you've moved back home for good, or what's the plan, sort of?
In all honesty, I have no idea. I'm not trying to put any eggs in a basket. So when we first left April last year, and I thought, right, 3 or 4 weeks I'll be back over, no big deal, I left most of my gear over there. I only brought hand luggage with me, but obviously I'm over here now. I've signed with MTK, which is amazing. Like, you couldn't ask for a better team. They're the biggest in the game. Then I'm working with Joseph Clifford over here. Mm-hmm. If you don't know him, a wealth of experience. He's worked at the Baku Fires and the WSB team. He's worked with Luis Garcia, Mike Perez, Willie Casey, the Highland brothers, Stephen Ormond, like you name it, he's worked with them. And then we're working with Mike Jackson over in Manchester, who has been he's been a corner piece for Ricky Hatton's gym for years. He's worked with who's who, Scott Quigg, Tyson Fury, he's coached Ricky as well. So I'm getting world-class coaching here, So at the moment, I'm very happy with what I'm doing and how we're progressing.
And obviously the good thing is getting the experience behind you, because it can be a short pro career, it can be a long pro career, but it depends on the team more than anything to keep you going.
Absolutely, like there's a great gel there. There's a great chemistry. I'm improving every single day. Like the little stuff that we're doing it in sparring, we're doing it on the bags, and it's just becoming natural, and we're all very happy. So it'll be great to see it now when I put it into action on fight day.
And sort of, you signed with MTK, and pretty much very quickly they're obviously able to get you a debut. And obviously with the whole pandemic, the Dublin card was obviously put back, and they were sort of having to rejig things. So unfortunately, your fight got postponed. Have you sort of been given any sort of indication as to when you might be making your debut?
Yeah, mid-March. Like we'll get out in March 100%, so it's not too much. It was kind of a short notice for the February card anyway, so we'll get a full 9 to 10 week training, but there's no problem. Like, we're ready for whatever comes whenever. We train hard every single day, and then we know MTK have the best there for us. They're going to get us on the cards. It's a matter of time, really, It
definitely is. And sort of, have you been cautious to the thought of fighting behind closed doors? I guess obviously with the amateur boxing at times you would have fought pretty much with a man and his dog, so to speak, as well.
Literally, so every week you're fighting in the stadium, there's maybe 25 people there, You'll hear a bleeding pin drop. So I'll probably be fighting for more people now behind the closed doors than when I was in the stadium.
And obviously it's as I say, it's strange times for everybody, but I think some people's taking positives out of the fact that no crowd, because if you have a big crowd there, you're expected nearly to go out and get a stoppage win and get your career started. So hearing voices in the crowd going, knock him out, jab him. You don't have that.
If I had 40 people coming over and they're shouting, they're cheering, you're amped up a bit. You might take a liability or whatever, but no crowd, no problem, nice and calm. Just get the job done.
Definitely is. And sort of, looking at weight class, and obviously I know you fought middleweight in your amateur boxing days. What sort of weight are you looking at campaigning at?
We're going to do 160 pounds for the first fight. That's 72.7, and then we're going to drop right down to 69 kilo light middleweight for literally the rest of the career. It's not a hard cut. I'm walking around now about 76 kilo, so it's nothing at all really. And we'll be big and strong at that. At light middle, we'll be very big and very strong for that.
And obviously, sort of looking at some of the fighters you would have fought in the amateur game, you've obviously Brett McGinty that obviously turned over and made his debut there. and obviously other opponents with the both signed Boxing Ireland, Dominic Donegan and Aaron Gaetens. What have you sort of made of the three of them? Obviously progress. You've been keeping close eye on them, obviously being an opponent previously.
I haven't really, to be honest with you. Like, you'll skim through and you'll read a bit or you'll watch a bit, but I wouldn't be looking anyway at that. I've seen Dominic's been very active. Everyone knows that. I saw Brett had a hard fight. It was a good fight for your debut to take, and then Aaron's been kind of slow. But it's great to see the amateurs come through. Like, it's the right progression to be making. It's great to see Irish boxing starting to grow a bit because everyone knows for years it was dead. It was on its back legs. But it's nice. I like to see all the lads, even Paddy and Aaron. Went around the world with them. I was on teams with them for years, and now we're seeing us all graduate onto the next stage, which is how it should be.
And sort of, looking at it and obviously admiring boxing, I think I done an interview with somebody last year and they were sort of saying for years, with probably the Carl Framptons, the Andy Lees, the Katie Taylors, the Ryan Burnett's coming through it, become world champions and got all the glory. The foundations are already there for the next 10 years, probably at least and probably it's a credit to the high performance team and everything else and how well people's performed at amateur that they're now showing when they do turn over going, I'll be watching that.
Absolutely. Like, Ireland is one of the powerhouses in the world in amateur boxing. There's no two ways about it. Everyone knows that Irish are going to medal every time. So there's no reason you can't transition to professional boxing there. Like, the talent is here in an abundance in the country. You look at the lads and how come, like, you've the list you've named, and now you look at the people coming through now. It's the next generation, and it's a testament to the country, what we're producing. We are a good fighting country,
Starting to match the Cubans for obviously what they've done for years, and they were taking over everything.
We're on that one now.
People now be looking for the dirtiest gym in Ireland and going, this is all the champions are trained in. They sort of use like an old barn sort of for the Cuban sort of stuff and saying, here's where all these world champions are made.
My old amateur club in Kilbarrack, Dublin, we had 4 bags up. And then the ring was literally, it was 4 ropes you had to hang up and take down because we shared a community hall,
Mm-hmm.
But that produced Irish champion after Irish champion. It got me to Europeans, it got me to World Championships. So every year it's producing this, and literally, like I said, it's in a community hall with 4 bags and 4 ropes that you hang up, and that's it. And
they look at some of the high-tech gyms that's out there now. Funny, John Breen, I obviously trained quite a lot of obviously world champions up here in Belfast. He obviously, when his gym was still open, he was still using the old super stairs. And he would have made the gym like a sauna, and obviously that was something that he stuck to for years, and it got the best out of his boxers whenever it come to.
That's the thing. They were there in that hard graft. They were sweating in every day, so it became a natural thing to them, yeah.
Whereas obviously all now it's all weight assisted machines and things like that. It'll probably make it easier for people to train in.
No, there's no skill like the old skill.
Definitely, it's obviously the old school sort of. I think a lot of people would like to go back and sort of see what it was like to fight in them times, but obviously I guess with the older times there's obviously more concerns for health and everything else. So thankfully boxing's moved on with health for boxing and sport.
No, there's a lot of a big more spotlight on it now.
Definitely is. So obviously with quite an accomplished amateur career, obviously I'm sure your predictions for yourself is you're going to do great things as a pro.
Oh, absolutely! Like, I'll be going all the way. There's no doubt about that. Like, the team I have there, my coaching team that I have is world class. Then we have MTK in the picture now. We know what MTK are about. The results are there. The writing's on the wall. They're the best in the game. There's no one else out there competing with them. And then my inner circle, my family, my girlfriend, my friends, it's amazing. I got literally the best of every world I can have. And I train very hard. Every session I do, I leave 100% there. So we know the skills there. Everything's there, and it's going to combine. And there's world titles on the way, 110%.
Fantastic. And it's putting the hairs in our arms sort of to think that, starting off a career, and you've read aspirations to be a world champion, but if you don't aim for the top, where are you ever going to get to?
No, absolutely. Aim for the top and work your way there, yeah. Kick through every door that's in your way.
Definitely. So obviously with Irish boxing the way it is, obviously with no shows in the south, obviously quite a lot of boxers have obviously came through and they're actually making a name for themselves away from where they're from. I think Gary Cully's fought 11 times as a pro, and 10 of them's been in Belfast, but he calls it a second home now.
Yeah.
Have you ever boxed in Belfast before?
Never at all, no, not once. But come here, the ring is the main thing, wherever it is, it is. We were meant to box in Bolton, and then there was talk of Dubai. But I said to them, wherever the fight is, I don't mind, just once we're in the ring.
Yep, get it in there and get it out of the way. The reason I was sort of saying that as well is obviously it's good when you're able to come into other places away from home and sort of build up a fan base. I think when Gary Cully fought Joe Fitzpatrick here last year in the Ulster Hall, it was obviously the whole North v South rivalry.
Yeah.
But obviously Gary was well supported and stuff as well. Even Luke Keeler fought the year before against Conrad Cummins. There's quite a lot of a crowd come up from Dublin as well. So it obviously will help make it a home from home, so to speak, as well, if you do.
Of course, yeah. Like, we have great support there, and even like when we thought it was in Bolton, there was probably 30 people onto me in the first 2 days, like asking for tickets, asking for dates, asking for everything. So the fan base will be there, absolutely, and it'll be great to be there and feel it, to feel the electricity. Obviously, it'll be for a while now, the way everything's looking, but when it does come, it'll be a special night.
And how active are you looking to be? You're one of these ones that, because you were used to fighting every other week as an amateur, just get out as much as possible.
I've been hounding Steve Collins out of MTK. I'm on to him saying, fight day. Well, I wanted to fight in February 19th, and then I says, get me a fight the end of March or the start of April. Like, if I could fight every 8 weeks, every 6 weeks, I would do that, We're going to do 4 rounders. We were meant to do a 6 rounder, but we got told we're going to do 4, so we can do a 4 rounder literally every 6 weeks. I'd like to get 5 fights in this year, and I don't see it being a problem with MTK there behind me.
And I know when Sean McComb actually made his debut, he fought 8 times in the first year as well. And because of obviously of how well MTK's went, he fought on Amir Khan's card in Birmingham. He fought over in America and stuff as well. So the opportunities there to probably fight both sides of the Atlantic as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's brilliant. And then even that, like, the short time I was in America, I built up a connection. There's a bit of a base there as well. Like, I know a lot of people there. So if there was cards over there, absolutely, I'd jump on that. If there was cards in Belfast, cards in England, Dubai, if there was a card out on the field, I'd fill it. Just get me on the card.
You're in the middle of Eddie Hearn's back garden. That's probably the closest we got to a field in 2020.
Yeah. That was deadly though while he was doing it, yeah.
Unbelievable, to say Eddie's not scared to break the mold in boxing, and the idea of somebody boxing his back garden, and I think he's now looking at doing it as a yearly thing, and probably people will pay big money to go and sit in his back garden.
It could be a great series that you got. It could be a thing you could get going. Yeah, it'd be deadly.
It definitely would, and obviously 2019, with the field here in Belfast, 10,000 people in the field in Falls Park, unbelievable. Where would obviously like to see, I know obviously you had big plans to sort of go the whole way to the top, but obviously it's not right to not sort of a plan in place. Where would you like to be 12 and 24 months from now?
So the plan would be, if we get the first fight, first of all, that's plan A, get the first debut. From there, I'd like an Irish title, a ranking title, and a world title, straight like that. If we got the blue belt instead of a ranking title, we take that. But I want titles at every level. I want to fly through every single level that there is. I'm going to pass every test with flying colours. Each fight as they come, like bowling, you knock the pins down. But I'm happy. I just want to keep fighting, keep winning, and I know that I'll leave the rest in MTK's hands, and they'll make the plan for me.
And finally, obviously, just before we let you go, I just sort of want to talk on your style of boxing. For anybody that's obviously waiting for you to come into the ring, I know with Fergus Quinn made his debut there not so long ago, and he was all action and just standing in your face. What type of boxer would you say you are yourself?
A southpaw, counter puncher, but if I hit you, you're going to sleep. There'll be a lot of knockouts coming. Absolutely. I like to box and I like to enjoy it. I just like to have fun when I'm in there, because it's what I love to do, and I'm doing it as a career now. So every minute of the round, I'm enjoying it and I'm doing what I like to do. But no, like, if you look at the boxers that I watched in the past that I've picked from, Hector Camacho, Pernell Whitaker, Prince Nazim, Floyd, Showman, I love Gervonta Davis now. So we'll take a bit from all them, we'll mash it up into one. So slick southpaw, big power, lovely combinations.
And it'll all mix well. And as I say, if you can
Yeah.
get a tenth of the way where Floyd Mayweather got money wise, you'll have done well.
We'll be doing all right. Yeah, put a few pounds in the pocket.
I definitely would. We sort of want to finish off. We've obviously Carl Frampton obviously fighting in 3 weeks' time for the potential to become a three-weight world champion.
Yeah.
Have you watched much of Carl's career and obviously how much would it mean for sort of you yourself starting out? You know that somebody's been there and becomes the greatest Irish boxer and a three-weight world champion. Does it give you something to motivate
If
yourself
you
with?
don't like, I've watched Carl from day one. You know, he's a legend. He would have been that generation just above me that came through, went through the Irish, done that, won his nationals, went on to the next stage. Like, so to follow his path is what you want, you know. But if you could do that, like, that's history, that's greatness, you know. Three-weight world championship is unbelievable. It says it all. And I do think he would be Ireland's greatest ever if he did do that. But I have no doubt he's going to do the business.
Fingers crossed. As I say, we're sort of hoping for a Frampton knockout.
Yeah.
He's been putting people down to the body with bad hands, so now his hands are healed, we're hoping to get the very best out of him. And obviously, one more we want to leave on. Obviously, how massive's Katie Taylor been for boxing?
Oh, unbelievable! Like, she changed the game, really, didn't she? In all honesty, you know. The gym of training, there's a big mural of her on the back wall, and you're looking at that. But she's done it the hard way, you know. She's done it every day, every week, in and out. She opened the stadium, doing the fights, doing the training that she had to do. Pete bringing her around, but even the way she went pro, like, that's the hard way to do it. She could have stayed here and kind of cushioned herself a bit, but she completely took herself out of her comfort zone, went over to Connecticut, I believe it is, and on her own over there doing it the hard way, you know. But it's a testament to what she is. She's a great athlete, great person, and a great role model for not just women, for all Irish boxers. You know, everyone should look up to her.
Definitely is, and it's sort of to think of generations of fighters come along. You have the Framptons and the Taylors now, and it's all about yourself and the rest of the other pros now to continue that legacy on and keep people talking about Irish boxing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, look, Paul, obviously, thank you very much for obviously taking the time out of your busy day. I know you're actually going to have a second session this evening now, obviously on your birthday as well, so no rest for the wicked.
No rest for the wicked. We have a lovely few 1,000-metre sprints now, courtesy of Joe Clifford, coming up later on out in the park, so at least it's not raining out, but yeah, no, we don't stop working. We'll have a lump of broccoli with a candle in it later on for the birthday.
But obviously, we wish you all the very best. Obviously, as you're starting off your pro career, we'll obviously keep in touch and everything else.
Yep.
And obviously, fingers crossed, you're going to get fighting you soon.
Absolutely, and as soon as it is, I'll pass it on, and we can keep the ball rolling with it. You know, appreciate your time, appreciate the platform that you're giving, not just me, to all Irish boxers. It's something that we need. You know, we need them platforms to get out there.
Definitely. Well, listen, thanks very much for the kind words, and we'll speak with you soon.
Thank you. No problem at all. Thanks very much for your time.
All right, cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.